I am 69 years old and my name is Dr. James Whitman. I want to ask you three straightforward yet crucial questions to get this conversation started. Have you ever had the impression that your words are no longer as important to your kids as they once were? Do you ever feel neglected or undervalued despite your best efforts to be polite and understanding? Have you ever questioned why your previous level of respect as a parent seemed to have diminished over time? You are not alone if these questions speak to you. Many parents experience a traumatic change in their relationship with their children, particularly as they age. Perhaps the affection is still present, but the respect? It appears to elude you. You may feel that they no longer see you as an authority figure, regardless of how much you do for them. Perhaps they ignore your counsel, treat you impatiently or indifferently, or even take you for granted. However, the reality is that you cannot ask for respect. Demanding it is not an option. It is something you earn and strengthen by your behavior, your attitude, and your mannerisms. I'm going to give you 6 effective strategies in this video to win back your kids' respect without arguing, begging, or feeling helpless. These are tactics supported by psychological insights, life experiences, and conventional wisdom. You will have a better understanding of why respect wanes as well as how to restore it in a way that is solid, enduring, and satisfying by the end of this video. Keep reading until the conclusion, and if you think this is helpful, please remember to like and subscribe to our channel, Aged Insights, for more tips on how to lead a happy and well-respected life. Let's begin. Respecting yourself is the first and most crucial step if you want your kids to appreciate you. A common error made by parents is to concentrate on their kids' behavior rather than their own behavior. However, the reality is that if you don't project confidence and dignity, others, including your kids, will do the same. Consider the language you use with yourself. Do you frequently utter phrases like, "Maybe I don't matter as much anymore," or "I'm too old to change"? These subliminal messages are picked up by your kids. They can tell if you're unsure, hesitating, or always looking for their approval. Respect is based on how you present yourself, not just what you say. Set the example for how you want to be treated by speaking confidently and standing tall. Clearly defining boundaries is another essential step. Many parents try to maintain harmony by becoming overly forgiving, especially as they get older. They don't hold it against their kids when they interrupt, dismiss, or even say something unpleasant. However, setting boundaries is about respecting oneself, not about being harsh. Say I don't appreciate being spoken to that way, gently but firmly, if your child is acting disrespectfully toward you. If they don't stop, leave. You are teaching children that disrespect is okay when you put up with it. Additionally, refrain from behaving guilty. Some parents attempt to overcompensate by being excessively permissive, especially those who weren't great in the past. They avoid having tough talks, say yes to irrational demands, or even let their kids mistreat them for fear of alienating them. However, guilt is not a good basis for any kind of relationship. You are not defined by your previous transgressions, nor do they obligate you to put up with abuse. Prioritize developing mutual respect in the present rather than going out of your way to make up for the past. Lastly, accept your own life. Their happiness is totally dependent on how their children regard them, and parents frequently lose themselves in their children's world. However, demonstrating that your life is rich and satisfying outside of being a parent is one of the most effective strategies to win respect. Engage in activities, make new friends, look after your health, and demonstrate your worth as a person. Your kids will automatically start to appreciate you more when they realize that you value yourself enough to take care of your own life. Recall that respect is modeled rather than forced. Your children's treatment of you is influenced by how you treat yourself. When your kids treat you disrespectfully, it's simple to feel angry or depressed. Calm authority, however, is one of the most effective strategies to win back respect. Shouting, demanding, or begging won't get you respect. It originates from the silent power of a self-aware someone who maintains their composure while standing their ground. First, learn to manage your feelings. When their kids act rudely or dismissively, many parents have emotional reactions. It makes sense because you've given them so much, and it may be really painful when they don't show gratitude. However, responding in a desperate or angry manner simply makes your case weaker. Keep your cool if your child raises their voice. Avoid getting involved in the emotional conflict if they make you angry. Instead, use calm language when you reply, "I'm not going to continue this conversation if it's not respectful." They will start to respect you if you demonstrate that their actions don't disturb your inner serenity. Second, act and speak in a consistent manner. Many parents set guidelines but fail to enforce them. Your child won't take your words seriously if you say something like, "If you can't speak to me respectfully, I won't continue the conversation." But then let them continue to talk disrespectfully. Only when boundaries are constantly enforced do they operate. Walk away or end the call if necessary if you declare that you will not put up with being yelled at. You make it obvious that you mean what you say by being consistent. Third, quit looking to your kids for approval. By always attempting to please their children, some parents unintentionally cede control of their power. To get approval, they change their conduct, hesitate to disagree, or seek for permission before speaking. However, being too accommodating does not garner respect. Your kids don't have to agree with every choice you make. Focus on what is right rather than what is fashionable. Even if your truth isn't what others want to hear, speak it with confidence. Lastly, pick your battles carefully. Not every argument has to escalate into violence. Sometimes letting go of minor issues while remaining steadfast on what really important is the greatest approach to earn respect. Allow your child to express a different viewpoint on a little matter. Be steadfast, however, when it comes to your personal boundaries and essential beliefs. Calm authority has great strength. You may establish an unshakable presence that commands respect, not by using force, but by using quiet strength. When you manage your emotions, remain dependable, quit looking for approval, and pick your battles carefully. It's simple to feel as though you need your kids to affirm your value when they stop treating you with the respect you deserve. Waiting for their calls, requesting their approval, or wishing for more of their time and attention are all possible scenarios. In actuality, though, one of the best strategies to win back your kids' respect is to help them become emotionally independent. First, you should no longer depend on your kids to make you feel good. It's normal for parents to want their children to love and approve of them. However, you begin to put pressure on them without even realizing it when you start to grow emotionally dependent on them. They start to feel obligated to meet your emotional requirements, which might lead to a rift. Consider this. They can start to feel under pressure to fix your feelings if you call them frequently or expect them to check in. Instead, concentrate on finding contentment elsewhere. Take part in things that make you happy, such as volunteering, hobbies, or get-togethers with friends. They no longer feel overburdened by your requirements, which makes you a more appealing presence in their lives. Second, put your own health first. Look after your physical and mental well-being. Putting your health, happiness, and personal development first gives your kids a strong impression that you are a whole, self-sufficient adult who doesn't need them to feel important. Whether it's working out, practicing meditation, or just spending time doing something you enjoy, demonstrating to your kids that you care about your own health fosters respect. They start to admire you rather than hold you accountable. Let go of expectations. Third, we frequently hold our kids to irrational standards of behavior or emotional fulfillment. We may feel offended and irritated when they don't. However, you and they both become free when you learn to let go of these expectations. Nobody likes feeling as though they are disappointing someone all the time. You may foster a stronger relationship with them and give them the freedom to develop and live their own lives when you stop expecting them to be everything to you. Lastly, embrace your passions in life. It sends a strong message when you find happiness in things other than your relationship with your kids. They realize you aren't spending your life for them or with them in mind. You have the power to make your own happiness, and people will respect you more if they perceive that you lead a happy life. Living a rich, satisfying life that demonstrates to your kids your power, knowledge, and confidence is what it means to be emotionally independent. It goes beyond simply not relying on them for approval. This change cultivates a stronger, more positive relationship with your kids in addition to restoring respect. Setting limits is one of the most effective strategies you can do when your kids start to disrespect you. Although setting boundaries may seem like a means of defending ourselves against others, it also serves as a teaching tool for how to be treated by people around us. Setting limits is about teaching respect, love, and self-worth, not about dominating or punishing. First, acknowledge the value of boundaries. Setting boundaries is a show of strength rather than weakness. Establishing boundaries teaches others that we respect ourselves and that our thoughts, feelings, and time are important. Parents frequently overlook minor acts of disrespect because they don't want to start a fight. However, these minor flaws accumulate over time and become more significant problems. It's critical to realize that establishing boundaries is crucial to safeguarding your emotional health and earning respect from others. Second, be straightforward about what you will and won't put up with. It's simple to think that your kids understand appropriate behavior, but occasionally they don't. Communication is the key to establishing boundaries. Inform them politely and plainly if they are acting dismissively or disrespectfully toward you. This straightforward method can change the dynamic. For instance, if they keep interrupting you, you could say, "I'd like to finish what I'm saying. Please wait until I'm done." Although it must be explicit, it need not be combative. Third, enforce your boundaries consistently. Consistency is the key to setting boundaries. Your kids may come to believe that you don't truly mean it if you establish a limit and then disregard it or let it slip. Consistency teaches kids that boundaries are real and unassailable, just like it does with younger kids. Remind them politely if they keep ignoring your boundaries. Never back down or give in to frustration or guilt. They are more likely to start respecting you if you are consistent. Lastly, impose penalties as needed. Establishing limits without any repercussions is similar to establishing regulations without any enforcement. Enforcing penalties is crucial if your kids keep disobeying your boundaries. For example, you may decide to end the conversation if they are speaking to you in an offensive manner until they are able to address you politely. You can let them know that your boundaries are uncompromising by imposing penalties. They will eventually realize that their actions have repercussions, and your relationship will get better. Although it's not always simple, setting and upholding boundaries is crucial. You teach your kids to treat you with the same respect when you value yourself enough to establish boundaries. Standing your ground helps you regain mutual respect, restore trust, and form a stronger bond that is advantageous to both parties. Setting a good example is one of the best strategies to win back your kids' respect. Our kids frequently imitate our actions, whether they are good or bad. They learn how to behave toward us and other people when we treat them with tolerance, love, and respect. We must respect ourselves and our children if we want them to respect us. This straightforward fact is frequently disregarded, but it is essential to re-establishing respect for one another in any relationship. Start by being respectful to yourself. Respecting oneself establishes a benchmark for how you should be treated by others. Maintaining your physical, mental, and emotional well-being is a key component of self-respect. It also entails establishing limits that respect your needs and talking positively about yourself. When your kids witness you demanding respect and taking care of yourself, they start to understand how important it is to follow suit. They are more inclined to follow your example and begin to appreciate you when you act with dignity. Second, be considerate and understanding of your kids' viewpoints. Disrespect can occasionally result from misunderstandings or unsolved problems. Spend some time listening to your kids' worries, annoyances, and emotions. Respect is fostered by actively listening to them without interjecting and validating their feelings. Empathy makes individuals feel heard and understood, but it does not imply that you agree with all they say. Deeper respect in your relationship may arise when they understand how much you value their opinions and feelings. Third, set an example of polite conversation. Youngsters pick up communication skills from watching others, particularly their parents. You must act respectfully in your conversations if you want your kids to do the same. This entails discussing problems without placing blame or shaming others, speaking gently, and refraining from shouting or using harsh language. You may create an atmosphere where respect for one another is valued and exercised by using polite language and tone. Instead of acting disrespectfully, this teaches your kids how to resolve conflicts and disagreements in a civil manner. Finally, establish a free environment for candid discussions. Encourage an atmosphere that encourages candid communication. Encourage your kids to share their ideas and emotions, and be ready to listen to them without passing judgment. The relationship of trust and respect is strengthened when you demonstrate to your kids that they may confide in you about anything. Talking honestly and openly helps clear up misunderstandings and stop problems from getting worse. A relationship becomes healthier and more respectful when both parties are at ease talking about issues in an open manner. Regaining respect is facilitated by setting a good example, demonstrating empathy, speaking politely, and fostering open communication. In addition to teaching your kids respect, you also build a stronger bond with them that will last a lifetime when you set an example of the behaviors you like to see in them. Although it takes time to win back your children's respect, it is completely achievable with constant work, compassion, and love. Self-awareness and honest communication are the cornerstones of respect, which is developed gradually. You can start to establish a respectful and loving atmosphere in your house by setting a good example, treating yourself with dignity, and developing a greater awareness of your kids' emotions. Remember that you are the first to earn respect. Your children's behavior toward you is influenced by how you treat yourself and other people. You are giving kids important lessons about how to engage with the outside world and with one another by setting an example of respect. The things we do on a daily basis are more important than the words we utter. The dynamic between you and your children will change as you strive to create an environment where they feel heard, understood, and appreciated. When both sides are dedicated to hearing, comprehending, and taking care of one another, mutual respect develops. Although this process takes time, you may strengthen your bond with your kids by being patient, understanding, and persistent in your efforts. Respect is ultimately a two-way relationship. You can teach your kids to value themselves and others by setting an example and taking the first step toward positive change. Maintaining this atmosphere will eventually lead to the respect you want in your relationship, transforming any difficulties into chances for development and closer bonding. For more advice on creating more enduring relationships and leading a satisfying life, remember to like and subscribe to our channel if you found these insights useful. Keep in mind that we are the ones who need to change, and that every action you take to show respect and empathy will have a long-lasting effect.